just post the other day, Terry, something, it said that the solar flare was attacking. It's funny how they put it in the terms of attack, like we're being attacked by the sun.
Right.
But what can we expect in the upcoming few weeks to bring us into the new year, as far as respecting Gaia and working, to integrate with the sun's energies?
Well, I think 21st is a great helper. The solstice, one of the most spiritual days of the earth, in my opinion. So definitely that's going to be a big one. Then at the end of the month, I'm getting more human chatter about earth changes, like financial or political. So that's another sign as well that near the end of this month, there's likely going to be some sort of space weather event. I've noticed that also the last few months, like clockwork now, it's the beginning few days of the month that seem to be getting quite a good push or a surge from the environment, from nature, kind of giving us a propulsion into the new month every month. And then around the 10th, which is coming up, around the 10th, 11th, we get another one, I've noticed, whatever it is. And then we have the special occasion of the solstice as well coming up. So that's going to be, it's I don't even know anymore what the real truth is about some of these stories of the solstice and the days of darkness that come after the solstice on the physics of the earth. I come from the north and we would get a lot of darkness. There's parts up there who are no longer getting any sunshine for the next few weeks still. They're in total darkness up there. And so there's a whole other extreme being experienced that day. There's going to be an extreme. The extreme darkness and the extreme light will be experienced on Earth. The Australians are going to get the light portion. Us, we're going to get the dark portion. And we need to use that portal to basically clean and clear and jump up another grade or spiral up another staircase and get another level up as we finish this year and approach the next year, which we all know some internal responsibilities of what we're going to have to deal with next year, politically, potentially, and so on, with our energy bodies, just to make sure we're not getting sucked dry of our resources and of our joy, because that's basically the attempt, is just to make us not happy anymore, to kill our joy, because that's our inner child and that's our manifestation ability. So we just got to keep our inner child happy. These holidays have also been designed to try and kill off our children, our inner child, to make us feel inadequate, to make us feel weak during a time where we should be storing like squirrels. A lot of us are spending instead, and it's the opposite of what you're naturally supposed to be doing. So hold on to your resources, gather resources, prepare, because when Capricorn season in January hits and that energy shoots us into 2023, we're going to have all these resources that we've properly cultivated. We're not just giving out because we feel like we have to, depleting ourselves out of feeling of obligation, because that's not a good energy. It's not going to come back to you. It's just dead energy. It's not going to come back to you. If that's how you're giving, then don't do it. Just don't give. And in a way, show the grace of like, I'm not in the position to do this right now. I can't be this for you anymore. And that's respect. Okay. And move forward with respect with a lot of these holidays that we really are we're just sloughing them off. Like a lot of this crap, a lot of the commercialized crap, we're getting way back more to spiritual practice. You don't need stuff to celebrate the solstice. You do need stuff to survive the winter. So that does make sense. So get some stuff for surviving the winter, survival all over the place. I have stuff for filtering water, get some of that, get some stuff for making fire, flint, whenever you need it, a little stove, like tents. Do purchase stuff so when you're ready to go and have adventures in the spring and the summer, you'll have it and you don't have to save up for it. You'll have it there. It'll be ready. All you have to worry about is getting out there and enjoying yourself. And that's sort of the energy I'm getting. Is Sagittarians are really about travel. They're really about excitement. They're really about freedom, doing what they want, confidence, being with people. They love to share also. And then Capricorn season's just going to be like, okay, take all of that stuff and all those wonderful relationships and people and things, and we're going to make this new move. We're going to make this new self and project this into the new year. So I'm excited to see how everyone's going to do that this year. a lot more things are going to trigger us this December. They're really going to try and trigger a ton of things to get released, because I think it's the time. You're supposed to do, we're doing parasite cleansing on my Guardian training membership. I'm asking everyone to take parasite cleanses this month. You know, I used to eat a ton of cookies and candy and stuff this time of year, and drink like a ton, like so much. I would drink so much, eat so much, it'd be feeling terrible. And now I'm doing cleanses the last couple of years, and it feels so much more aligned with what my body wants to do. And I love to binge and eat amazing foods other times of the year. I really do. I love it. But during the solstice, I don't get hungry. In the darkness, and when there's less energy needed, I seem to like withdraw and reserve and be more internalized and be in reverence. So it's hard for me to enjoy even doing those activities, those holidays, because I just don't have the energy for it. I'm not in the right place. It's never made sense to me. So I'm glad now that I've matured, I've moved on, I've learned about the planet, I've learned about the religion and how it's caused a lot of issues, and how even paganism causes a lot of issues, and you can't use any of these words. You just have to start over, and you can't really take away the solstices or the equinoxes from us. That's pretty much, it's scientific and it's basic and it's just there, and I'm glad. And that's what I want to focus on. And for the next coming year, just focus on us being earth children more. And we're an earth community. And if we don't get that sorted out immediately, we're not going to be an earth. We're not going to be a community. It's not going to work. So we have to do the job and travel and intermix and message those people you are too shy to message because you think they're better than you, or something. Like, just keep making the connections, keep being the brain, and we'll be able to survive and bridge through this time and these attacks and psyops and all this that they'll try and harvest off of you during this time.
I think it's important that you mentioned the fact that during the solstice time, you usually don't have enough energy. This is usually the time when people get depressed, and they think it's because they don't have family, and they think it's because it's the holiday, not really understanding that you're going through something right now.
The earth is.
Yeah. So I think that's really important to figure out too, because it just seems like I don't remember ever being like so excited for Christmas, you know what I mean? Or so excited for these particular times. It did feel like a weird emptiness, you know, and maybe where you're sitting there trying to give to someone else something when you need to be going inside to get it for yourself. Yeah. And maybe that's why people have little weird family spats, and, you know, the kids get presents and they're like, all right, throw it all in the garbage, you know, like the kids aren't even happy with the presents that they're getting. And so now that you say it this way, it's like, yeah, maybe that's why it's, you know, it's like Disney's supposed to be the happiest place on earth. I went there, I didn't see anybody smiling. And so here it is, Christmas is supposed to be this wonderful time of the year. And it's like, no, go sit down and take a nap, you know, and rest your mind and rest your body. So it's like we're doing the exact opposite of what we need to be doing all the time, isn't it? It's so strange. Yeah.
This particular time of year, it seems to be the biggest attack on us as a collective, for sure. I haven't even fully grasped it, but Christ does have to do with it, I think, for sure. And the energy of the light and the darkness in a way. And
well, we're supposed to probably be sleeping. I mean, we're supposed to be relaxing. Yeah. We're not supposed to be going to work. I was talking to someone else and they were like, yeah, no, this time of the year, we're not really supposed to, we're actually supposed to be in hibernation mode. And maybe that's why we got a short temper and why we're cussing people out in traffic and, you know,
because we're sleepy.
Yeah. And punching people in the face, trying to get a new Xbox. So I don't know. So, you know, maybe that's why we can escalate to that level. You know what I'm saying? That's why we can escalate to that level of negativity, because we're already in a place where we need to be by ourselves. You ever have that where you're just in a mood and you're like, just let me go in my room. But this is something we need to be doing for ourselves. It's okay to not be okay, and it's okay to not give. And it's okay to say no. And I really like the fact that you brought that up. And guess what? And if someone's angry at you for saying no, then that's their damn problem. It's not yours. They need to go work on that. And if they can't get over it, then so be it. Bye-bye. But respect my space, respect my mind. Yeah, I'm loving it. Because you glossing over these little juicy messages that you got in here. And I'm like, no, we're going to highlight that because we got to talk about that, sis. But I won't keep you here all day. I know you got a family and dogs to feed. And
they've been behaving so well. I'm so proud of them.
I haven't heard a peep, y'all.
I know.
She got a farm over there. So
a few.
She got more than me. I got one son, okay, and one cat. So you got it going on over there, girl. I just thank you so much. I don't know if anybody else had just a thank you and a thank you. And I love the information. And I'm so glad that you're so inspired.
Me too. Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm very glad because I was very depressed as well. And it is tough. It's tough. The depression is because we're going through the wrong rhythms. Like our bodies are so lost. I'm so glad that I figured it out. And I feel so embarrassed a lot of the time too, talking about it, being like, yeah, the seasons, like, I feel like everyone knows this stuff, but sometimes just saying it and hearing it another time helps. And I need repetition all the time. So I've given myself permission to be repetitive online because I've learned so many things from people just specializing in something and really giving it their all. Just paying it forward for those people who've helped me so much by putting their time and making videos like you guys do and putting yourselves out there and being public and being smart and thinking about other things. Like, give me a break. You guys think some and I get to listen and learn something. Like, it's amazing. So we're living.
Everybody thinks Terry's cool.
Terry, yeah. You guys got it going on. I'm glad. I watch your show.
Jonathan, he's stuck between two Libras.
Yep.
I'm partially there. I'm partially.
Yeah,
I'm a Virgo, but I'm partially. I'm a day off from being a Libra, so I mean.
Oh, you're the perfect Virgo.
And here's Josh.
Took a while to find it, but yeah.
I just kind of peeked. He's like, I see you. It's just enough. So it's fun. It's fun. I said, how could you imagine a life so fun where you just get to hang out with smart people and talk to smart people and just have fun? I like it. It's just
I feel
so
lucky.
Cool. Yeah, I feel very lucky too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's been a long time coming in, like, go back to, the depression and everything is that you're looking for the flow, that wave to ride, right? To allow everything to just make sense. And yeah, as we come together, it's like, yeah, we're online, but you go to have a conversation down the street or to an old time friend is like, it's completely different, right? You don't get that mirror of vibration between each other, right? It's so strange. Nourishing.
You'd think you would see it more in our natural environment, but
well, I'm here in Nova Scotia, and
sweet.
What's happening here is the minds are still a little dense, but everybody that's getting ran out of those countries that are being overrun right now and being processed by the people, those people are running and coming here. So there's just lots of work to do.
They're gonna freeze them out up there over there.
Send them out in the ocean.
And you have to think too, our minds are expanded not only because we're not in a tribe anymore. We're not in a settlement anymore where you're with you. I'm just mentioning this because my mother-in-law told me, she was like, oh, I enjoyed having my baby and it was so great. And I was like, yeah, because your mom lived there, your sister lived there, your aunt lived there, your cousin lived there. Y'all all went to the same church. You all live near each other. You all hung out with each other. Like, we don't live like that anymore. Like, whereas your mom is in 3 states away, your brother's over here. We're not in settlements like we used to be. So yeah, we think differently because what? We've gone to school over in this state, we've traveled to this state. And then if you've ever been to another country and then you're talking and having friends from other countries, it's going to be hard to like hang out with your neighbor at this point because
Yes.
you've been around the world and back. We don't really relate the same anymore. And you're like, oh, you've never been to another state, like, and go do one of those games where you have to play where it says how many states have you been to, and it's like, oh, I've been to 13 states and 7 countries, and now it's like, you want to come talk to your neighbor real quick? Like, nah, it's not really gonna work that easy. It's hard to have conversations now. So
Just personally, I lived overseas for 3 years.
Nice.
I lived in Taiwan. And when I came back, it was very difficult to have conversations with my neighbor down the street because it gives you a total different perspective when you've traveled, when you've interacted with different groups of people, because everybody has their own box. But when the boxes are no longer there, then you see perspectives and you start to have critical thinking, and it becomes, once you've gotten out of that box, you can't go back in.
I feel you. International travel is the best. I miss it. And I think everyone in California needs to travel because I've noticed the California mentality since moving to Arizona, even just being next door. I've just been like, these children need help. Like, oh my God, it's insane. And I was raised in Alberta, and then I came down here, and I had a way more international perspective living up in Canada. There's way more people up there, and there's a lot more international people as well. It's just way more international. And coming down here, I was just shocked at the ignorance and the closed-mindedness that can happen when you don't get to mix cultures with people and you don't go anywhere. And you think you're better than everybody, and you're spending on your appearance instead of spending on experiences. So
Lord,
it's been tricky.
people in their lips, Jesus help them.
They
Your
need
lips
help.
are good. All they got is money for the lips. I used to look at people and be like, I know that's all your income tax money just went on your butt.
And the drugs.
And oh yeah.
And the
Yeah.
kids are all doing like all these very powerful psychoactive drugs in like college and stuff, and they're just all frying their brains. Like they have nothing left in their gut, in their brain. Like they're depleted as heck. They're just zombies. And I was amongst them. I was just like, this is horrible. What is that you're doing? Like, I felt like a grandmother just being like, stop, babies. Like, what? You are the future. Like, stop killing yourselves. Like, I know you're sad, but look, the space weather's high today. So just don't take it personally. Just take a nap, like have some water. Like the kids are really strung out. I've noticed the college level kids need the most help. If I could just project this info to them, we'd be so much better off because they're just killing them like massive. Like they're just frying them to death. All these young 20-year-olds and like with booze or drugs, or whatever the technology, and they've all been smoking. A lot of them got into smoking those disposable cigarette things. And it was so crazy to watch. It was happening all around me. Even I was just like, oh, these people are dying. Like you look terrible. Like your souls are begging for help. They're just demons running around. Like they're all just in their shadow self, like hungry, and it's just chaos. And then they all want to fight about politics, but they can't. Their brains are fried and they aren't seeing logic. They're just going with the masses, but they're young. So you'd think they'd be okay, but no, it's not okay. There's a problem. There's a big issue. Do not listen to what young people have to say because they got to most of them. It's really sad.
I'm seeing the way some people treat their body, and sometimes I just say, just get a gun, and just go for it because I hate to be mean, but it's like you are almost there,
Yeah.
But
heavy.
wow.
And I hope that this energy will just lift people up out of that heaviness naturally, and it does some days. And that's what's the funnest to track. It's like, ooh, this is a good wave. I can feel this one. Sometimes when the Schumann resonances and all that is getting really amplified, that's when I can finally leave the house and do laundry or like do grocery shopping amongst people. It's almost grounding to me when the energies are higher in the atmosphere. It seems like I can exist out in public and tackle whatever's going on. Otherwise, I
Because-
feel too open almost.
Because you said drugs, I had a conversation.
Final note on drugs.
I don't know on drugs because I don't normally go around telling people not to smoke weed. But what I'm seeing is
It
people
helps.
are so ungrounded though that they're so
If they have too much,
gone
stop.
that sometimes they may need to put it down because you're already flying high. You need to come on down, put your feet down on the ground and come on down. And some people are just so far out that I don't think smoking is helping them open up anything when you're already just wide open that you have no grasp on anything. You're just like a floating balloon.
Totally.
And I don't know. That's the old lady talking. I realized too, once I had my son, you know, I used to tell people when I was in college, like, I smoke to the day I die. I was like, you know? And then I'm like, yeah, if you have a kid, your kids will whoop your ass if you try to sit around being high. They're going to step on your face and walk across your back, and then they're going to take your purse. There's just, you can't survive like that. You're like, you know, sometimes you have to be like, let me put this down so I can focus real quick because I can't, you
That's
know.
good.
Same thing too, you can't meditate your way through your whole life. You actually have to face some situations and be present, right? You can't just sit there, you know, ain't, you know, it ain't going away.
Some say life is a meditation. So
Yeah.
Oh.
move it through it
Participate.
mindfully with your heart, thinking with your
Yeah.
heart, feeling the wave.
Girl, you don't want to get stuck with us though. This is 2 minutes and 22 seconds. Or 2 hours and 22 minutes. So I don't, you know, I know you got.
Oh, we did good.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, we did.
That's a good number.
Yeah, it is.
Well, yes, staying grounded, tea breaks. All shamanism needs breaks. We are humans, so we got to have human boring moments too, as well. I agree. And
The life between the dash. Yeah.
yes, exactly. And all things that are not plants, definitely just maybe just pause on those things because it might be too complicated. A little bit too karmically complicated also. Yeah. Even if you were taking something made by a human like lab person, but you're picking up karma from them and stuff. So just be careful out there. Be careful with your medicines. Be respectful to the spirits of the plants. We'll be good. And it helps a ton. Like I know people are smoking way too much and they do get ungrounded and super anxious and suicidal. They get spun all the way out and then they want to die because they're like, oh, I can't go back to the body. And I've been there and I've had to help people with that. And the mushrooms actually help a ton with that. Actually, the psilocybin mushrooms have been coming in a ton to ground people back and replenish their dopamine and serotonin levels and fix them up from cannabis's role, which was a big part of 2020. It was a huge surge of everyone staying home and smoking weed. Some people had never done it before. And they had all this shift and now they're all strung out and some people don't know what to do. And now they're legalizing psilocybin everywhere. I think, I swear to God, the Mushroom Collective told me that they were going to be making a move politically to like make themselves more available to people. And I was like, okay. And then Colorado legalized like a couple days later. And I was like, oh, I thought I was literally hallucinating. That one thing I was like, that's a little out there, but I'll keep that on the list. Just these random ideas I get. So but that was cool. So that's one thing I would keep working with people on is small doses of that, very small.
Marker, yeah.
So I know that's kind of a suggestion that can be risky, but it's worth the risk. Honestly, it's saved my life. The psilocybin mushrooms, if you haven't taken them, you should take them. Don't have to have a high dose at all. Doesn't take a lot. People recommend you do a lot, like 2 grams the first time, but that's a ton. That's a lot. That's a lot of matter to digest at all. So now I just sprinkle it like a dust for anyone in a tea or something. Cacao ceremonies is also huge, coming up big time. So getting your hands on some natural Southern American cacao, if you can, it's coming through. It's like people are running it through and selling it and sharing the medicines from these tribes and stuff. There's a bunch of these like millennials running around, like taking medicines and running them into different spots on the grid and stuff, and trying to be respectful and not offend any of the elders, but the elders can't keep up. So they don't know what the millennials are doing anymore. It's like the medicine's just like spraying everywhere. So I meet people who are medicine carriers of a lot of different plants and stuff as they roam through Sedona, because it's pretty much a hub for shamanism basically as well. It's what this whole place is meant for. So it's kind of funny. I see the trends of the medicines as well and how they're coming in to help us through this. But the cleansing, like everyone buys Scram off of Amazon and take a bottle of Scram if you want this month, and for spiritual upliftment and grounding. It's amazing. It'll make you not even want to crave sugar. And then when you are craving it, then you'll be like, oh, did I take my Scram today? And you'll be like, no, I didn't. And then you'll take it and you'll be like, oh, it's the bugs. They love the sugar. Like, you love it a little bit, but they love it. They're the compelling force. And I'm so happy I freed myself from that. If anything, that's been a huge liberation, low key, high key.
You say the bugs?
The bugs.
I learned that, yeah, our bacteria and fungus that's in our body wants to survive, so it craves the sugar.
Yes.
And
And the parasites.
the parasites, yes. Wow.
But we're seeing results. I mean, the stuff works. I mean, the parasites cleanse, they do kill it off and release it out the body. Like experimenting up in my house for like the last year and a half. My husband was way more infected, so we had more fun with him, but it was like, we have to tell people, if you've traveled international, amazing for your psyche, but not great for your biome. And if you get infected, if you travel, you should do a parasite cleanse. If you've never done one, have to do one, because we for sure have too many. There's for sure some votes going on in your body that may not be yours. And if it's just been your lifestyle since you were 5, because you were fed birthday cake at 1 year old and you started growing all of this in your body real early, like I did, I needed the help, and I still am working on it. I'm just going to be eating handfuls of pumpkin seeds, I think, the whole time we do this Star Seed Adventure thing here, and vitamin C, just to stay healthy while all these new people are around. And it's going to be fun. I'm having fun. I'm grateful to learn some techniques of dealing with these conferences, because they're really difficult to handle, but I love it. It's in my astrology. Like, my chart is like, you can do these conferences. This is it, but they're hard work. Like,
are you a speaker at this conference?
Oh yeah, I'm going to be speaking. I'm going to be helping guide. None
God.
of these people live here, so they want to use the space for spiritual stuff and out on the land, but they don't know what they're doing either. So they've had to keep me involved way more than even just a speaker role, because they had so many questions how to host an event in a city they're not from. So I host my own events here too, but this is not mine. I'm just helping.
Okay, we're invited every time, next time open. Yeah.
Yeah, the next one I'm going to do will be in September. So if you guys want to come out to that, it'll be September 16th in Sedona. And you can get on my website, familyoflight.info. And I'll email you the info when it's ready.
If us Canadians can ever travel to the States.
Exactly. Yeah, and we'll have reduced pricing, or if you need any extra help to like come to the conference, because I know how much it costs, everything. I know how much everything costs. I know how hard it is. We had a ton of Canadians try and come last time, and it's just been a pain in the butt. There's so many Canadians I'm trying to get along. Like, some of them have had to leave, and now they're trying to come back because they have business in Sedona. Like, my buddy's like the reincarnation of Tesla, and he's like been trying to start his projects here. They keep putting him back to Vancouver and everything. And so Tesla's Canadian, you guys. He incarnated Canadian this time. Just don't forget that one. It's fun. A lot of these entities, like masters, are walking amongst us, and just to fix up and do what they got to do. But then they have human problems, and it's kind of cute. It's kind of cute just be like, oh, Zeus, you're having a hard time. You've caused problems, so here's some problems. Or whoever's wandering around, all these Greek gods and Norse gods, and there's gods from all different people embodying and walking around with people. I'm meeting a ton of them. They all come to Sedona, though. So many people come here. Spiritual Mecca. It's nuts. like Maui almost.
Wow.
Everybody's leaving Hawaii though. Well, actually, they're all going there now. They're like, oh, we have to go. Everything's changing. All of Hawaii is just a whole new free for all right now, energetically. It's pretty cool. You can't avoid those. It's like Gaia made her decision.
And what do you call that? Are we nomads? Is that it? We're
I would
wandering.
say so.
Right. I think that's a huge thing too. People
Yeah, we need to be more
are
mobile.
so set on staying in one place sometimes. Like they forget this is not how we live. You move towards the food and the water. You move where the resources are, and things change. So you have to be willing to move. But now we have death notes, so we kind of get used to these notes. And I'm not saying I don't appreciate you. I love you. It's all right.
I think that might be my last thing. Is like, if you're feeling intuitively like you need to move because there's going to be some sort of natural disaster in your area, do it, because I'm getting tons of visions that there's flooding coming and so on. So I'm getting visions about it. So I'm moving. Like, I live near a river right now. The river I keep seeing is going to totally flood. And they keep showing me that. And I've been like, well, I got to get out of here. Like, what do you mean? And then they're like, just wait, hold on. It'll work out. And I'm going to be moving soon. So I'm grateful, but I'm getting a ton of information about the weather this year. It's going to be a lot more water this winter. So if you've been getting the weird feeling like, ooh, last year was sketchy, we almost flooded, then you might flood this next coming year. So maybe move is what I'm getting as my final offering for today's video. Thank you. I'm so grateful to be here. Good job,
Thank you.
everybody.
Oh yeah, it's never over until we do that.
Thanks.
Josh, you gotta do it, Josh.
This is
Well,
true.
all right. Thank you, Alexis. It's been awesome show. A lot of great information. Very well spoken, and thank you.
Very
Thank
poetic.
you. All right.
So much. Looking forward to hearing more about all that you do in our coming future videos and your endeavors. Grateful.
Thank you.
Mm.